environment is crucial. And once again, thinking and talking about the mind, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who wrote The Miseducation of the Negro, he said, if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. And so as you begin to look at where we are right now, you have men suffering from what I call HIV, mind virus, hood-infected virus, AIDS, addiction to incarceration, and death syndrome, where you have young boys look forward to going to jail because they see it as something that gives them street credibility. They don't know that rule out the possibility of 80 different professions that they can't go into. They don't know when you get a felony, you can't get on welfare, you can't get in public housing, you're restricted from living in certain areas. They don't know how that compromises their lives. And they say very casually, I was talking to a young man the other day and say, tell me, what's going on with your life? He said, well, I just did a nickel. I said, what do you mean by nickel? I knew what he meant. And what he was saying was, I just did 5 years in prison. And I asked him, I said, you think to me that all your life is worth, your intelligence, your abilities, your talents amount to a penny a year? You did a nickel?
Movie, and it's kind of off the subject, but it's kind of on the subject. I watched a movie entitled Last Holiday with Queen Latifah, and in this movie she was working a regular 9-to-5 job, going to work at a regular retail store, just living an average life, and she had a crush on this guy, and the guy came around and she had an accident and she hit her head, and she went to go get a CAT scan, and the CAT scan came back with an error, but they didn't know it was an error at the time. They told her that she had this terminal disease, that she had 3 weeks to live. And once she recognized that she only had 3 weeks to live, she let go of fear and began to live a life of her dreams. She ate exotic food, she traveled to exotic places, she bungee jumped, all the things that she wanted to do, but she was too afraid to do them. And in the end of the movie, I love it because she didn't die, and she ended up stepping into her dreams. So many people live a life like that. They live their lives saying, one day, I'm going to do this, and one day I'm going to do that. The worst thing that you can do, Les Brown tells a story about a man laying in the hospital, and it's 10 people standing around, and the guy is asleep, and he's got his eyes closed, and it's 10 people, and he wakes up and he opens his eyes and he sees these 10 people standing around him. And he says, who are you? And they didn't say anything to him. And they're just shaking their head. They're just like, And the guy says, what? Who are you? And the people say, we're your dreams. And because you're dying, we have to die here with you. See, don't let your dreams die with you. It's certain things, don't get, the worst thing that you can do is to get to the end of your life and have regrets. That's why people on their deathbeds, they want to apologize to people and make amends for relationships. The worst thing that you can do is get to the end of your life and have regrets. No, live your life to the fullest every day, because you don't know, we're not promised tomorrow. So you don't have time to be angry with your spouse. You don't have time to be angry with your kids. You don't have time not to write that book. You don't have time not to step out on your dreams. Do it now. Take action. And that's what the Make It Happen movement is all about, getting people to make it happen in their lives right now. I'm so passionate about this because so many people live unfulfilled lives, wishing that they could do this, and they can.